Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for taking your time to join me here. Today we continue on in our Bible study, the book of Revelation, and we're going to be in chapter 10. So I will put up in the video the verses as we go through them. But if you have your Bible or device handy, let's go ahead and go to chapter 10, verse 1, and this is what we read. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. So, chapter 10 begins an explanation of the chronology of chapter 10, verse 1, through chapter 11, verse 14. Now, the visions relate to the time covered by the first 6 trumpets. So the latter half of the tribulation, if you will. Now the mighty angel may be a strong angel or even Christ himself, as the angel here is referred to as the angel of the Lord. Now the cloud, the rainbow, the sun, the pillars of fire, all spoken of here in this passage that we've just read, refer to deity. But a parallel may also be drawn with the angel Gabriel. Now, let's go on to verse 2. Verse 2 we read, "And he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot on the earth." Verse 3, "And cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth, and when he cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices." Verse 4, "And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not." So, the little book is the title deed to the earth. It symbolizes Christ's right to possess and to rule the earth. Now, the planting of this angel's feet on the sea and the earth, here, earth is referring to dry land, shows Christ's authority over the entire earth. So, in its entirety, he has authority over the whole earth. And the appropriation of his promised inheritance as Messiah is also indicated here in this little book, and by this authority. Now the loud voice shows authority also. The little book may contain more judgments. The 7 thunders refer to more messages of judgment, such as the bowl judgments to come in chapter 16. Here, John is told to seal up what the 7 thunders uttered or spoke. Why? Well, they will be described later in detail. So, let's go on to verse 5. "And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven." Verse 6, "And sware by him that liveth forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that therein are, and the earth and the things therein are, and the sea and the things which are therein, that there should be time no longer." Verse 7, "But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be finished, as he hath declared to his servants the prophets." So, lifting up the hand by the angel signifies taking an oath, which we saw there in that passage we just read. Now the announcement of the angel is that there will be no more delay in the establishment of the millennial kingdom of Christ. With the sounding of the 7th trumpet in chapter 11 verse 15, which we'll get to next week, the present mystery form of the kingdom will be over, and what God promised to the prophets will finally be completed. Let's go on verse 8. We read, "And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again, and said, Go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth." Verse 9, "And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey." Verse 10, "And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter." So, John is told to eat the book, the little book. And when he does, it becomes sweet in his mouth, but bitter in his belly. The act of eating the little book represents the understanding and appropriation of the prophetic revelation. Now, the message is sweet because at last the kingdom promises are about to be fulfilled. It's bitter because it can only be accomplished through more judgment and more tribulation. In verse 11, we read, "And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings." Now, this verse, verse 11, is a key to the chronology of the book of Revelation. John is told to prophesy again concerning many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. The seal and trumpet judgments have brought the chronology close to the end of the tribulation period and to the return of Christ to the earth. Now, John must prophesy through a period a second time, concentrating this time, the second time, on the major personages and movements of the tribulation, meaning Satan, the beast, the harlot of Babylon. The duplicated prophecy begins in chapter 12 and culminates in the vial or bowl judgments, meaning the destruction of the beast and the return of Christ. All right, that brings us to the end of chapter 10. Next Friday, we'll go on to chapter 11. I appreciate you so much for taking your time to join me here for this Bible study. And those that are commenting, I really appreciate you so much. Comments mean a lot to me. I like to hear from you guys. So be sure to comment. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. These things really help the channel out with YouTube, and I would appreciate it very much. If you need prayer, please send your prayer request to me. My email address will be at the end of this video. I would be honored to pray for you. You have a blessed day. I pray that you have a blessed weekend. Take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you in the next video. Blessings to you now.